Hi, it's Gila Nehemia, sacral self-love poet, mentor, mystic, and author. I'm so excited to be here. Today is day 13 of my 21-day self-love, Intimate Self-Love Affirmation Challenge. And I'm just so glad to have been talking to all of you. I've been really happy how this all turned out, that I got to meet more people, got to talk to more people, and got to experience more love in my life, and more loving hearts in my vortex. So I want to just thank you, all of you who are listening live and on the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to know how your day's been. My day has been quite challenging today. I won't be playing any music from YouTube anymore. I've been blocked from YouTube from using music because of copyright issues. So thankfully, a friend of mine helped me today to upload my previous video from yesterday, and to mix another licensed piece of music. So I just wanted to let you know, if any of you are wanting to watch the one about your power and your gut, like, that's still there. You know, we just changed the music and there's a message there. So I won't be playing any music today. I wanted to share today, we're talking about I love my sacral chakra. I love my yoni. I love the way it feels to be intimate with myself. These are some of the things that we're going to go over today. The affirmations are coming up, but I just wanted to give you a preview. So we are going to be really exploring our sexuality. Our sacral chakra is the seat of both love and money. So if either of those have been challenging, which usually those are the topics that people have the most challenges with in their lives, and it makes sense. And why is it? This is actually the crux of my work. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background before we go into some movement. Both of those topics have been very challenging for me. First, it came with love, and then with finances, and it really was that I wasn't giving my permission. To be quite honest with you, I was never giving myself the permission to totally follow what my deepest desire was. So I'd love for you, before we even begin, if you can write down, get a piece of paper. I'll wait for you. Get a piece of paper and a pen. And just even before we begin, what is your deepest desire? And I'd love to look at that again when we finish. So if you want to tell me, whoever's watching, who want to tell me in the chat, and I don't necessarily have to post it, but what is your deepest desire? And if you don't feel comfortable, that I completely understand that. That's okay. I honor you for your privacy. So I'd like you to just focus on that. I'll just give you a second, 30 seconds or so, to just think about what do you deeply desire? What you deeply, deeply desire? It could be like unlimited abundance. It could be a loving relationship that's intimate and exciting, that excitement never ends, constantly adventurous. It could be something really stable and nice and cuddly. It could be any of those things. It could be just a nice piece of land where you can grow your own food. Whatever it is, write it down. And then we'll begin this process. And I'm going to be, I'm going to mix in some teaching with the regular practice that we do. So those of you who don't know me, who are just signing on, thank you for being here. I'm Gila Nehemia. I am a sacred erotic self-love mentor, poet, author, and mystic. And I've been doing a 21-day series about intimate self-love affirmations. And we started from the top of the head, the hair, going into our third eye, our eyes, our nose, our cheeks, our mouth, our throat, our ears, our upper chest, our heart, and our solar plexus. And now we're into the sacral chakra, which is my favorite. It's a seat of desire, physical desire and spiritual desire. From that, the other chakras open for many of us, and for some it's in other ways. But for me, that's what it was. Ozzy has mentioned, I don't know if you'd like me to share, So I will just read them to myself. But if you'd like me to share these, let me know. So I will, but I won't say anything if you don't want me to. But thank you for sharing, Z. And the more that we open up into this whole new space of totally reclaiming our sexuality, and that's part of my own work. So if any of you who are listening in who are new to me, my work is totally about reclaiming your sexuality, especially if you've experienced chronic trauma or anything that has kept you from feeling totally. It could be family, and that wasn't necessarily traumatic, but it held you back. Social conditioning. It could be anything like that. So it doesn't have to necessarily be like domestic violence, something like that, or bullying, but it might have. So wherever you're coming from, and if you're tuning in, you're meant to be here. The divine brought you here because this is a special day. Today is the 13th today, so it's also special number 4. So what I wanted to share was that the more that we can reclaim our sexual power, it also brings us into our creativity, our life force energy, which is super, super important. And thank you, Z, for saying all that. I totally appreciate that. Again, let me know if you'd like to share, because I'm not sure. Because I will share. So what we're going to do today, as we normally do, is we're going to pray. We're going to set our intentions. So I'm going to set my intentions on my crystals. And we're going to first set an intention. Then we're going to do some movement. We're going to do that without any music today. We're going to do some movement together, and then we're going to breathe, affirm, and reflect. And in the middle of those, I'm going to be talking about a variety of different things, and I'll share a poem with you as well. So I'm loving for you to close your eyes, and I'm calling in our light teams, God, Source, Universe. Bless us with clarity. Bless us to really connect to our primal power, our sexual center, our sacral chakra, to open up all the goodness, the pleasure, the joy, the creativity, the life force energy that we are totally desiring, both in love and financial abundance. We are ready to open our hearts, open our minds, open our souls to our true purpose, mission on this planet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, and so it is. Namaste. Thank you so much. So we're gonna do some movement. Without further ado, I want you to I'm not gonna play anything today, but I will in the future. So I want you to just open up, just like really stretch it out like we did the other day. Like stretch out and really stretch in your hips. This is where we're talking about this right here. We're stretching in, no matter whatever gender you are, it doesn't matter. Just stretching out your hips, moving it around, just like as if you are rotating them, just moving from side to side, just opening up the heart. We've already worked through some of these other chakras, the heart, the head. You're just really feeling your body, feeling really intimate with your body, feeling like pleasure. You're giving yourself pleasure. Put your arms all over yourself, just to really feel how wonderful that is. Give yourself like a nice massage. Hug yourself. You are so amazing. Oh, it feels really good. Just really kind of stretch it out. Stretch it back. Just allow yourself to be, totally in your space. However you want to. You can go forward, go back, to the side, and do it again. And to the side. Just a nice stretch. Stretching your back. And again, back into feeling into your body. How wonderful that is. Feeling down wherever you are. Feeling your yoni. It's really, really beautiful. Your whole body is beautiful. There's nothing about you that isn't. You're totally intense and amazing. Allow your shoulders just be free and open. Allow. Just allow and receive. We'll just take a few deep breaths. I hope you did a little stretching with me. So let's just we're going to do the orgasmic breathing. So those of you who don't know it, I'll show you a couple of times. And those of you that do, we'll do it about 10 times. It's really, really nice. It gets you into that totally orgasmic mood. So we'll do it full force. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a breath with our mouths open, and then we're going to breathe out also with our mouths open, and we're going to make an undulating movement. Totally undulating. It's almost like we are just making love to ourselves. It's orgasmic. So think of it as orgasmic, and just think about loving yourself, because this is really the point of this exercise. So it's completely in the movement that I'm doing this, and we're breathing, and you're making a sound. So really get into it. So let's start now, and I'll do 2 as an example, and then we'll do 10 together, and I'll count. And when I do this, sometimes I would just actually feel myself, and I do it in front of the mirror, and it's like really, really nice. So I'm going to read some of the comments. Z has some wonderful comments. Z, I'm going to share them. So she says yes. She talks about the yoni. That's wonderful. She says that women should never be afraid of their yonis, and I totally agree with you. We have so much power there, and that's what we're here to talk about today. This is full of orgasmic opulence. Yes, yes, yes. Totally, totally, totally honoring you, goddess, and very thankful to be able to nurture my yoni profoundly and eternally. Yes, yes. It's all about nurturing yourself, especially your sexuality, because there's so much there. I wanted to bring in another quote from Napoleon Hill. Oh my God, this is the best quote. It totally fits. And I'll find it in a minute. But this quote he talks about, it's a book, Think and Grow Rich. And probably many of you know it. Napoleon Hill is very famous for Think and Grow Rich. It was written in the late 1800s. I read it last summer. And he talks about romance, sex, and love. I have to find the quote, and I'll find it in a minute. But I talk about it in one of my videos that I did last year. And he said that connects us into the infinite oneness. Abraham Lincoln, just as a quote, if any of you want some history, want to know why am I doing this? Abraham Lincoln, he was a president in his later years. And he didn't really even find his purpose until he met the love of his life. And meeting the love of your life, if some of you are on that path and you're being challenged, it's about really allowing yourself to open up to someone in that vulnerable space. Because love is not about just, hitting the sheets. It's really about deep, deep intimacy. Those of you who really enjoy being intimate with someone, it's about really allowing yourself to be totally, I feel, this is my personal feeling, and you may disagree, but I feel that it's about allowing someone inside your inner space, inside your fantasy world, inside your fears, inside your vulnerability. And we cannot allow another person in there until we allow ourselves in there. And many of us who've experienced a lot of fear around relationships or a lot of self-sabotage around relationships, it's because we still haven't done the inner work in ourselves to totally be the person we're desiring so we can attract that other person to us. So I want to make this point because it's really important, and it also has to do with money, but I'll first make it with love because it's so much clearer. So in love, and I saw this also just before I go into there. When I was in Dharamsala, which is, a lot of Tibetans live there in India. I was there a year ago, and I came across a newspaper, and it said self-love is a new marriage. And it was a whole article written about that. This is in India. So what they were saying was, unless we do our inner work and our partners do their inner work, then that kind of relationship is not like any other. It's a new marriage. It doesn't have to actually be written, we don't have to have any documents or anything. What it means is that when we truly love ourselves, deeply, we really go through a practice and really see and confront our own fears, then we can allow another person into that space. But until we do that, the depth that your soul might be desiring will not be there. It won't. Because when you can go into that space on your own, through your own healing, then you open so many doors that were closed to you because of so many conditioning and so many limited beliefs that you've had. And then you can see that there's infinite possibilities to how you are desiring love to come to you. And when you are desiring whatever you're desiring, it could be fantastic, it could be kinky, it could be whatever you want. And another person will meet you there because you've allowed yourself to meet yourself there. So I hope that made sense. Please let me know. I'm still going over some of Z's quotes. The yoni is extremely enlightened about reclaiming all of our purity. Yes, yes, totally. Thank you, Kenneth, for saying amen. The former predatory patriarchy was extremely emotionally exhausting for us Wonder Women. Yes, it was. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. I love that. Yes, it was very exhausting. It was very emotionally exhausting. And on many levels, traumatically for many people as well, and so many levels. And so that's why when we go deep into our bodies, because it's stored in our bodies, it's stored in our womb space. Some people, I've talked to lots of people, I'm a coach, so I talk to lots of people. Some people don't find sex to be very satisfying, because the intimacy, it's still challenging for some people to go really deeply intimate within themselves. So it's hard to find pleasure. So in this book that I wrote, in this chapter that I wrote in this book, The Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing, Volume 3, I really go into self-pleasure. Because until we can experience deep pleasure, which is why I wanted to do that in the beginning, really feel your body, really feel all parts of it. Your yoni is a part of many parts of your body. And today we're concentrating on that, or the lingam for men, it's, these are just nice words, but these are words that you can use to truly just connect to the sacredness of your bodies, because your bodies are centers for your, more love to come through. It comes through in your face. It comes through in your smile. It comes through in your well-being. When you care for yourself, all parts of yourself, things happen to you. You create more abundance because you feel good and new ideas come to you. So that's how it's stored here. It's stored in our womb space. It's a fact. It's stored there. Napoleon Hill's book that is still read to so many people today. I'm going to find the quote right now, so just bear with me as I look through this. But it's amazing that over 100 years later, we're still talking about this topic, and we're still perfecting it because it's something that needs to be perfected. Hold on, I don't want it to play. So I'm just going to look and see which one, if I can find it quickly. And I can't. So I'll look for it later, but I will put it in the notes. So those of you, I'll be posting it in the notes. So in any case, where we're going. So what I wanted to share with you is that we'll go into the affirmations in a moment, but I just really want to stress that as long as you can give yourself pleasure, you find pleasure in just in small, minute details, and really allow yourself to pleasure yourself. Self-pleasure, we talk about taking a shower, and I'm all into that kind of stuff. And I'm also pleasuring yourself. We have a lot of erogenous zones in our body. It's not just our sacral chakra. It's not just our sensual center. Some people they get turned on when you touch them very lightly on the arm, or you look at them in the eye, or under the arm, or it could be on the small of your back. There's a lot of erogenous zones for both men and women. And I was looking into this recently, and it's so amazing. And for the women, the clitoris has a lot of erogenous zones. There's so many cells there. So it's amazing. Our body is amazing. And the more that we can get into that and really deepen our own understanding of ourselves, I have to tell you, we are totally miracles walking. We're miracles walking around. And the more that we appreciate that, many of us live here, right? For many years, I was just living here. And I was living also in my body, but it was a disconnect. And the more that I stay in my heart space, the more that I actually stay in my body, feel my body, nourish my body, give to my body, take care of my body, really listen to my yoni. What does it need right now? What do I need in my womb space? Communicating with it. It's a communication. It's a relationship. We first have to have that relationship with ourselves and what's going on there. If we've had sexual trauma, if we don't like certain things, to put boundaries up. I was a type of woman when I was younger, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act, and I was afraid to say no. But actually, that is a strength to say no. To say no, to say, I don't like this, I like this. You don't have to be a people pleaser. In actuality, the more pleasure you're going to have is when you're clear about what you like and where you'd like to explore. That creates intimacy, even between married couples that can go there together. It's so important because, when you've been together with someone, it's not always exciting after a little while, but you can make it exciting. When you totally can feel into and allow yourself to fantasize and to feel really free and trusting in another person's space. What's most important when we're talking about the sacral chakra is safety. That's number one, safety and trust. If we don't feel safe and we don't feel like we trust that person, or we trust ourselves first and foremost, then we're not going anywhere. We're not going far. So safety first in our own bodies, trusting ourselves and trusting our bodies first and foremost. It's a sacred space. And when you can declare that and say that I am not going to allow anything that isn't sacred or that I don't want, and I get to decide. So this really I'm very passionate about this, because I believe that when we access that power, it's because it's power. If you know Kali, the Hindu goddess Kali is like, she's like dynamite. There's anger, there's she has a knife, she's just like, don't mess with me. And that is power. So we don't always have to be these goddesses that are just quiet and sweet. We are a multitude of people. As we're just divine beings with a multitude of emotions. And when we show all of that, especially in our own sexuality and in our creative life force, because as women, we create babies and with semen. So it has to connect. And that in itself is a miracle. And it's always done in love in most cases. I can't say always, but in most cases in love. And so that's why that's why it just cherish children. But it doesn't have to just be babies. It could be anything. It can be birthing through the birth canal. It's the ideas. It's the, when you're in love, you suddenly have so many ideas. You're like, oh, wow, I could do this. When you're making money, when you're creating something, creating a business, creating a new book, that's a birthing process. And that can all have fruition when you can believe it. So it's about the mental stories and allowing all of that to go through this birth canal to darkness to come into the light. I hope you're seeing the analogies. I just really wanted to share that with you. I had a few things to share, but so I'll just go into the affirmations for a moment. And I had them written here. So yes, I love my yoni. I love the way it feels to be intimate with myself. I love pleasure. So I'd like to repeat that with you a couple of times. I love my yoni, or you could say I love my lingam for men. I love the way it feels to be intimate with myself. I love the way it feels to be intimate with myself. And I love pleasure. I love pleasure. I think a lot of men and women sometimes don't allow themselves to truly experience the kinds of pleasure that they are desiring. And the more that you say this, I love pleasure, that's what's going to come to you. That's what you're going to experience. So that's why affirmations are so important, because we're basically reprogramming our subconscious mind to experience more pleasure. My journey was just that. I followed my erotic desires, my sexual desires, and I was able to experience more pleasure in my life, and I allowed it in. I realized that that is my birthright. I can have that. And I desired it, and I allowed it to come in, and I allowed myself to heal, to have more, to always have more, to always say, where do I need more healing so I can open up to more, receive more. And as I was receiving more love, I was also receiving more financial abundance, and I was opening up to a whole new paradigm of living, which is where we're going with the age of Aquarius, of love, of happiness, of joy, of pleasure, of abundance, of vulnerability, of safety, of trust. So I wanted to share all of that with you. Thank you, Z, so much for sharing all of this with us. I'm going to share a poem I wrote. It's called Loving Me, and I'm going to read it to you. So I'll start here. Start at the top. Moved my sexy hips to the beat of the earthy vibrations. Allured me to that fertile place where only the trees, earth, and sky sensuously caressed me. Only me and the music, the sounds of nature. Winds rustled the grass, light rain, wolves howling, the drum beats in the distance. Gyrated in the midst of the tall green grass and a refreshing breeze cooling off the heat of my body. Made love to myself. Fondled my taut bare breasts, ran my delicate fingers down my stomach and legs gently, lovingly. Stroked my hair sensuously as I closed my eyes to savor the feelings. Circled my clit gently as my 2 fingers went inside my pussy. It felt lascivious, euphoric to touch my delicious, yummy body under the turquoise sky. Vulnerable, naked, affectionate, true, and safe. Enjoyed the feeling of being free, lovable, and so very divine. Realized it's all about loving me every day, every minute, all the time. Everything else comes second. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, yeah, so Z has a question here. What about turning affirmations into NLP questions? How does it get even better and easier and more prosperous than this? Why is it every day in every way I feel much more self-love and clarity? Yeah, you could definitely turn your affirmations into NLP questions. I would just say you can also usually NLP, it's affirmations, right? I love myself, and you can go through this. You can turn them into questions. Why do I love myself so deeply? Because I am. You could do whatever you want, whatever turns you on. I'm totally into self pleasure. If you want to give us some suggestions, I'm more than happy to share them with everybody. And yeah, you can. These are great questions. How does it get even better and easier to make and more prosperous than this? So I think what he's saying. Now I try to understand it. What she's saying is we can make this even more exciting. How can I love deeper? How can I love deeper? And you ask the question as if you are going to be experiencing it and you're desiring it. So that's then it comes into reality. Great idea, Z. I really love that. Why is it every day in every way I feel much more love and clarity? Yes. Or you can even say, I sometimes say, how can I feel much more love and clarity today? How can I feel more prosperous? I invite my angels to help me. How can I feel more love? How can I feel more pleasure? What can I do today to be more loving? Those are great ways to think about it. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. If anyone else has any suggestions, please chime in. Yes, it's like mental masturbation and elevation. Yeah, totally. You are extremely, thank you so much, C. So are you. We're mirrors. We're all mirrors. But I wanted to also suggest, if anyone's going through a challenging time right now, financially or in love, these are the kinds of tools you can use. Pleasuring yourself. Really, like Z said, you can ask the question of how can I have more and be open to what the answers are going to be. Allowing whatever comes through your mind and what you see to be a part of reality. A big part of this is receiving it. Receiving. It's huge for women. I have to say, we're so much into giving that receiving, a gift of money or a gift of love is sometimes, it could be, like uncomfortable because we're not used to receiving. And part of this whole year for me was about receiving. I allowed it in. I was just allowing. And I was open to receive. I was physically putting my hands out to receive. How can I receive more love? How can I receive more financial abundance? Just like Z was saying, ask yourself that question. How? And just don't think of the answer. Allow it in. Allow in the infinite possibilities. I've been talking to people and they already come up with reasons why not. Oh, I can't do that. I can't. Put those aside. Put all of those objections aside and allow what needs to come through. And you will be surprised at how amazing your life is, how far you've come. I'd like you to celebrate all yourself right at this moment. Look how far you've come. I'm honoring you. I'm witnessing you, all of you. Whoever's watching here or on the replay, thank you. Whether you're a starseed, whether you're just however you define yourself, what matters is you are present, you accept what is, you're present, and you are desiring more, and you allow it into your life. Whether it's mental masturbation, whether it's physical masturbation, it doesn't matter to me. It's whatever turns you on. If reading turns you on, do it more. If taking a shower turns you on, hop in a bath, lying down on the grass, do it. Because it is going to give you clarity and it's going to allow you to connect to your creative life force center. And that is the place. That's, when I ask people when they work with me, what are you passionate about? Because that is the source of your own abundance. If you're not in a position right now in your job or whatever you're doing to create abundance for yourself, if you're not in a position where you are passionate about what you're doing, then that is stopping you from having more abundance. Because the more passionate you are, you're just in the flow and you allow more in. You're going to have ideas and you're going to go with it. So if there's something stopping you, that is just, an old story. It's your own fear that's stopping you. And to get through that, usually we need support. You can write it down. If those of you who are wanting some tips, write down your fear. Write it down right now. Write down all your fears and write down the best possible outcome. I fear that I don't know where I'm going to live. That was a fear of mine at one point. And my best possible outcome was I was going to find a house and I could afford it. And that's exactly what happened. I focused on the best possible outcome. And I realized that fear, even if it happens, God is going to protect me. The universe will protect me. The universe has my back. So either way, I'm protected. So why not concentrate on the best possibility, the best possible outcome? The best possible outcome is I can have an amazing relationship and I am going to be so happy all the time with myself and with my partner and with my children. That's the best possible outcome. And that's what I focus on. And that's what I see happening in my own life. So it's mental, it's physical, and it's also about allowing and receiving. So if this is making sense to you, the tips are writing is great to get rid of the feels. When you make it real, then you can see it happen. You can write down the best possibility, then tear up the fears, tear up the piece of paper that has the fears and say, I release that. And when those thoughts come into your mind, know that isn't true and feel it in your body. Do you feel open in your yoni? Do you feel like you can just really relax in your own body? Can you dance in front of the mirror and totally really be sexy about it and be cool that that's you? Because that is you. You are beautiful and you deserve everything that you desire. And desire to me is a seat of your soul. Your soul is desiring this experience on this planet. So why not do it? If this is resonating with you, just really fun. I hope you're enjoying it because I am. This is my passion. Talking about this is my passion. This is what I do with my clients, because when we can tap in to what's holding us back from this big vision in our life, from having the love of our life, from having ultimate abundance, when we can focus on what that is and get into accountability. I do that with my clients. What can I do to help you to get to where you want to go? And usually they know because they use their own wisdom. And then we work together to create more and more and more. So if that's resonating with you, go to my website. You can purchase my book right on my website. I have, I talk about self-pleasure and tools. So I have some tools for you to use. I know you can't really see it from here. And I give you a bookmark and some other things. So that would be, that's always fun. And if you'd like to go deeper and schedule a chat with me, I'm trying to find where I put that, sorry. There's a chat. You can schedule a 15-minute chat. Let's just talk, it's for free. And maybe this is resonating with you and you'd like to go a little deeper. So let me know. And I have a number of programs. My writing program I've been talking about, that is a special gift for you. And I also have group programs. So that is all on my website. So you could take a look at that. And I really would love to work with you. I really would love to get to know you better, because if this is resonating with you, then we have something that we are meant to do together, because the divine didn't bring us in together for, we're here for a reason. I totally believe in divine synchronicity. Which book is it? So this book is Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing, Volume 3. It actually, the title of this, I've already lost it, but it is chapter 22 is my chapter, Erotic Words, Expressing Sexual Desire to Heal Trauma. And I give you tools. So it's not just a story. I tell you a little bit about my story with a poem, and then I give you actual tools that you can do at home to help yourself. So if this particular session really, strung something up for you, I recommend to get this. It's $19.19 on my website. So you can purchase it right from my website. And then if you're in the United States, you get free shipping. So it's only $19.19 is your cost. And you can have it for Christmas or, right after Christmas. I hope that answered your question, Z. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you. You guys are amazing. And the more that we can tap into our true, feminine essence. And for men as well, it's about the feminine energy right now. We know as we balance our energies, we become these unstoppable, limitless beings. So I think I've included the reflection in this one. And thank you, Z, for being so active and participating. I really appreciate you. You make this so fun. So I hope all of you, if you have any questions, please let me know. My writing program, as you know, that's 4 weeks. And there's a special gift, so it's now $555 instead of $888, and that's until December 31st. And my group program, I have a group program with some amazing women, and I really, really love it. And that's really nice. It's every week we meet in Zoom, and we chat together. And you also have some sessions with me. So I've made it a mix of individual as well as group sessions. And that's $185 a month. And that, again, you can do right off of my website. So if you have any questions about any of those programs, feel free to chat with me. I'm very available, and I keep a really sacred space and a confidential space for each and every one of you. So it is my mission to really connect with all of you. Thank you, Z. You are a goddess as well, and thank you so much. So I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful day. I am encouraging you to really step into more of your erotic power by reading that chapter in this book. It gives you tools of how to, if you're looking for how-to techniques right now, to heal trauma and to really tap into your sexuality for finances as well as love. I definitely recommend reading that, as well as the other 24 authors that have wonderful things to say as well. So you don't just get my chapter, you get another 24. So you can use that right at home. So thank you for being here today and staying a little bit over time. We didn't even do the meditation. Oh my God. So let's do a really short meditation now for 2 minutes. So I'd like you to close your eyes and focus on your sexual power. So we could take a deep breath in before we open our eyes. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I really love those moments of silence. It really helps me to focus again, and I hope it helps you as well. Just the last closing words, what I was reflecting upon was choose love over fear all the time. You'll be surprised pleasantly surprised at when you choose yourself, when you choose love, you're going to see that the universe is always, always supporting you and helping you to create that bigger vision. Thank you for being here. Namaste, Shanti Shalom.